I'm the Shredder, and the opinions I'm about to express, as always, are my own. I seem to be suffering from a touch of deja vu at the moment. We seem to be in this perpetual cycle here on YouTube of everything repeating itself with just one or two little changes to remind you it's 2011, not 2010. Thunderfoot is making videos to Venify X again, only this time he wants you to send him money for that privilege. Pat Condell is espousing the same bigotry with the mantra of, I'm not a racist, completely forgetting that he has the openly racist, violent scumbag leader of the English Defence League, Tommy Robinson, whining about how the police have tried to stitch him up in his favourited videos section. And my old buddy Brett Keane is pulling the same scam to line his pocket for the second time in less than 8 months. Only this time he's got prominent YouTube assholes Pat Condell, surprise surprise, and Jesus Freak 777 supporting him. You see, back in June, Brett Keane said that his home was being auctioned off along with all of his neighbours after the lease-to-buy system they had been paying into had not made its way to the mortgage brokers, and he needed people to send him money for lawyers' fees, a deposit on a new place, and help with the moving arrangements. And in typical Brett Keane fashion, he showed no evidence that any of this was true, but made sure to let you know of his health problems, the fact children were involved, and that the sale was taking place in about less than a week. Then, as fate would have it, somehow a miracle occurred. Brett, the man who on his YouTube page proclaims himself the God Killer, somehow received divine intervention and his home was safe again, with no mention of what happened to all the money that people sent him, now that it was apparent that he didn't need it after all. Did it get passed along to a charity that helps other homeless people? Did it get handed back to the people that dug deep to help him? What do you think happened? It lined his pocket just like every other time Brett has claimed he needed money to bail out his family in a time of crisis. You would have thought that someone who says that he's ashamed to ask every single time that he has to e-beg would take some steps to avoid having to do it again, like, oh, I don't know, quit smoking, give up the $15 a month on World of Warcraft, the monthly fee for an internet connection, or maybe, call me old-fashioned here, get a fucking job. But not dear old Brett. You see, Brett even had the nerve to compare his scamming money from people to the fundraising by the Salvation Army and the Red Cross. And in case Brett wants to say I'm making this up since he removed the video, here's the original straight from his own mouth.
Now, I don't know if you missed this, but I was having some problems last week. I thought I was going to lose my home. But as I pointed out in video, as well as in my live chat shows, which I do consistently, I've already talked about this and shown how my house has been saved. And I would think that some people would be very happy about that and very proud to realize that everything got settled on that situation. You apparently, according to your videos, have a problem with someone asking for help. If an individual reaches out and says, look, I need some help, I'm having some trouble, this is a problem for you. So you must have a problem with all these different websites such as Salvation Army, Red Cross, as well as the many different internet sites that ask for support or ask for donations, especially when it comes to feeding starving children or feeding people who are having a hard time. I don't see the problem in people asking for help. I don't see a problem if someone's having an issue to ask for their friends or their supporters if they can help. And of course, if they can't, then so be it.
Now, if that wasn't disgusting enough, Brett has gone on all-out offensive towards anyone sceptical of his latest claim about losing his home, rather than, say, providing evidence to shut us all up. Even then, the idiot has proven he's incapable of telling the truth. In a message to Scouse Casper, he said that he had no idea who she was, yet sent her several PMs under his old Stallion76 account, and has had her blocked from this one for many months, and as I have witnessed firsthand, he immediately kicks Casper out of the room whenever she appears in the stickcam room, much as he does with mine. He told Terrorizing in comment sections that he hasn't played Warcraft in months, yet on December 10th he uploaded a video of himself playing with his Goblin Hunter in Cataclysm. Now, I know Brett is probably going to claim that he was using the 10-day free trial of Cataclysm like myself and many other players were, but a whole month before this, Brett, you were on the same game showing off the new Seahorse mount that you only get in Cataclysm, so again, Brett, your claims are as hollow as your conscience. He also claims, like he will with this video, that we're all just vile maggots trying to kick him when he's down. Well, I've got news for you, Brett. I was kicking you while you were still standing, and what do you call putting up that video of Coughlin's breakdown last year, you slope-headed, pig-nosed Neanderthal? And I don't believe for 1 second your need for, how much was it, $2,300 was genuine in the slightest. You see, there's plenty of evidence to suggest this money was not for your rent as you claim, or to try and sort out a new place. Firstly, there's your Amazon.com wish list. Last time I checked in December, the total of that wish list was standing at just over $2,600. Now, I know for a fact some people bought you some items from the wish list, and I'll give my audience 3 guesses as to how much the remaining items came to. Secondly, while you claim that your family's medical bills are the reason you haven't paid the rent since October, you bought your kid an Xbox 360 for Christmas. So how can a man who can't afford to pay a penny towards his rent afford about $200 for a games console? There are some more important priorities in this world, Brett, and I think even your young son would understand that your need to keep a roof over his head is more essential than his need to play Halo. Thirdly, your little update video. There was no update in it. It was a story about a sheriff refusing to evict people because the banks weren't doing their job properly and checking to see who was actually living in the property, with some pictures of your wife and kids thrown in to boot. Now, those are completely separate from your story about not paying rent because of your medical bills, you fucking retard. Lastly, you live in Festus, Missouri, correct? Well, where's the court order for your eviction? Or the legal letter at least warning you that there's a court order for your eviction is being pursued? You see, under Missouri landlord and tenants law, and I quote, a landlord may not evict a tenant without a court order. And furthermore, if your health is as bad as you say your family's health problems are, and I'd like to bring to your attention Missouri Code 441.770.4. The court may stay execution of an eviction or removal order for a reasonable length of time if the moving party establishes by clear and convincing evidence that immediate removal or eviction would pose a serious danger to the party and that this danger outweighs the safety, health and well-being of the surrounding community and of the plaintiff. Meaning, Brett, that you would have been in no immediate danger of losing your home from under your feet and you would have plenty of time to find a new one. So your claim about urgently needing the money was as fake and phony as everything else about you. Now, I know what you're all saying. Shredder, why are you flapping your gums about this now? Brett's taken the videos down, he says he's got close to the amount that he needed, and he doesn't want any more. So, why complain? Why complain now? Well, the fact is this, Brett. You've conned people over and over again, and you have people that have earned trust from others. And I don't mean heartless, dishonest, lying scumbags like Jesus Freak 777. I mean people like Tommy from the Bronx, a man who had to sell thousands of dollars worth of his own goods for peanuts to pay for his own surgery, convinced that you're a genuinely trustworthy individual when you've done nothing but sponge and leech off of other people's generosity. How many genuine charities could have used that money you've taken for yourself to help genuinely needy people? How many times have you taken the moral high ground over the likes of Venom Fang X, yet again showed yourself to be no better than he is? How many times have you tried to set out on a one-man campaign to slander and defame someone after they simply caught you out lying? How many times have you exploited someone else's personal misery for your own selfish means when you disagreed with them? And how many times have you demanded people post real evidence for their claims, since all the evidence myself, Straight Dope Terrorizing, Bubba McMac, Atonk Number 86, and everyone else has posted thus far is fake, yet refuse to provide any evidence when you've sponged off the generosity of others on the internet? So while your scam may be over, I encourage anyone who wants to mirror this video or post your own, because the more attention we bring to your seedy little scams, Brett, the more people will see you as the manipulative weasel that you are, and it means people are less likely to fall for the same trick for a third time. I've got his videos and I'm making them available for download. Go watch them again. And this time, forget the emotional BS that Brett puts in and just listen to the words. Listen to what he says, and then I just have one request to those of you that send him money. And this time it won't cost you a thing. Ask him. Ask him about this video. Ask him what happened to the money he received the last time he needed his home saved. Ask him where his court order or any legal letter about an eviction are. Ask him why he needed the money so urgently when he is this part of Missouri state law on his side, and ask him about the Amazon wish list. And if he can't give you a satisfactory answer, feel free to contact YouTube and PayPal to have your money returned and his accounts closed for the cheap scams that they are. I'm the Shredder, and that's my opinion.